In this video, I'm going to talk about finding and evaluating reference sources. Reference sources, things like encyclopedias, handbooks, and historical dictionaries, are great places to start your research. You can find background information about your topic to gain a deeper understanding of the people and events involved and put your topic into historical context. However, all reference sources aren't of equal quality or relevance, and you need to be able to evaluate the information you use for your research to make sure it's credible and authoritative. Many of us go straight to Wikipedia without thinking about alternatives that scholars and publishers have vetted for their quality and scholarly content. One way to make this process easier is to use recommended library resources which are provided by publishers that already have a known reputation for quality. Once you know where to find them, it's just as easy as searching the free internet. The library provides an online guide for doing history research with links to several good starting points. To access this guide, click on Get Research Help from the library homepage, and then scroll down to choose Subject Guides under Guides to Research Resources. You can see there are guides in almost every subject area. Choose History, and then choose the History Research Guide. In the first section, Finding Background Information, I want to demonstrate using Oxford Reference to find good reference sources. Oxford is a very well-known and trusted publisher. Oxford Reference will let you do a keyword search across hundreds of their published reference books all at once. This resource is not freely available, so you will need to log in with your university network username and password. It may also take a bit of time to load, so be patient. I'm going to start by doing a search for the French Enlightenment philosopher Rousseau. When looking at your results, first scroll slowly. While all the sources might be reviewed and edited by professionals, that doesn't mean they're all equally relevant or helpful for your topic. Unlike a Google search, the first or second result may not be what you need. In this case, for example, the first result isn't even the Rousseau I'm looking for. I want Jean-Jacques Rousseau, not Henri the painter, or Theodore, or Pierre. So once I find an entry for Jean-Jacques Rousseau, you can see that each result provides additional helpful information beyond just the title of the entry. Remember, we're searching across hundreds of publications at once, so look at the title of the work that the entry was published in. In this case, the Oxford Companion to Western Art. You can also see the length of the article in words. The longer the entry, obviously, the more information you can get. For this one, I'm not especially interested in Rousseau's impact on art, and the entry isn't very long, so I'm going to keep scrolling to see if there's something better. This entry, with over 3,000 words in the Encyclopedia of the Enlightenment, looks like a much better option. This entry covers his life and major works. Also, if I scroll to the bottom, there's a bibliography of related works that I could search for to continue my research. For example, it lists the book Rousseau and the Republic of Virtue. I could copy and paste this title and search for this book in the Find It at U of SC catalog. Limit your search to U of SC libraries to see if our library has a copy. The other resources listed on the History Research Guide, such as Credo and Gale, will look slightly different, but will work essentially the same as Oxford Reference. You can search across hundreds of reference books, and you'll want to pay attention to the titles and the length of the entries to choose the most relevant ones. You can also search for reference sources and background information on the internet, but if so, you'll need to make sure you're evaluating what you find. Google ranks their results by what it considers relevance, but it doesn't check for quality. You'll have to investigate the author and what makes them qualified or not to be an authoritative source on your topic. Also, look at what organization or institution is providing the information and taking responsibility for its credibility. Finally, how relevant is the information to your research? For example, if I search for Jean-Jacques Rousseau, again, now knowing that there's more than one Rousseau, I'm going to predictably get a Wikipedia article first. But looking beyond that, I see that the next result is an entry in the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. So with this one, I already know that at least the site is sponsored by a top university. Looking more closely, I can see that it's simple to find the author of the entry and also information about the editorial practices and policies for the encyclopedia. It's a good sign when a site is upfront about who is creating the content and how the information is vetted. A quick Google search for the author's name shows that he is a professor of social and political philosophy at the University of Bristol, and his main research interest is Rousseau. Let's compare that to another result in the first 10 from Google. This time from something called infed.org. The author information is a bit more hidden, all the way at the bottom. In searching for the author's names, I find that they wrote a book together on leadership and informal education, and appear to have some type of educational consulting business. Neither appears to have an academic background in social or political philosophy. For these reasons, I would not choose this as a source for my research. To be clear, the point is not that all the information on the second site must obviously be wrong or made up. When you're evaluating sources, it's not to determine if they're inherently bad sources or good sources. You're evaluating them for authority and relevance in relation to what you are researching. I like to say, don't just use what you find, search for what you need.